Welcome to Elevate Your Life, where we explore stories that captivate, thrill, and send shivers down your spine. Tonight's tale takes us to a quiet neighborhood with a mystery that remains unsolved, a chilling disappearance that left more questions than answers. Stay tuned as we dive into the chilling disappearance of the Springfield Three. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more gripping stories. Let's begin. The chilling disappearance of the Springfield Three. It began on a warm June evening in Springfield, a small, quiet town where nothing extraordinary ever happened. The neighborhood buzzed with the sound of cicadas, and porch lights flickered on as families settled in for the night. But in one particular house on Walnut Street, something sinister was brewing, something that would shake the entire town. The house belonged to Susan Bellamy, a widowed mother, and her teenage daughter, Rachel. That night, Rachel's best friend, Emily, was staying over after they'd attended a local high school party. It was supposed to be an ordinary sleepover, filled with late-night movies and whispered secrets. But by morning, the three of them, Susan, Rachel, and Emily, were gone. No one heard a thing. No one saw a thing. The house, however, told a different story. When Rachel's boyfriend, Adam, came by the next morning to pick her up for a Sunday hike, he found the front door unlocked and slightly ajar. Inside, the house was eerily quiet with no sign of the three women. Adam called out, his voice echoing down the empty hallway. The television was still on, casting a faint blue glow over the living room. On the coffee table were three untouched mugs of hot chocolate, their marshmallows now melted into an eerie, sticky film. Something about the scene felt off, like the house had been abandoned in the middle of a moment. Then he noticed the shattered lamp. The shards were scattered across the floor, and one of the chairs at the dining table was overturned. His heart raced as he stepped into the kitchen, where he found Rachel's phone lying on the counter, buzzing with unanswered calls. She never went anywhere without it. In the kitchen, Adam noticed something strange. The basement door was wide open. It hadn't been the night before when he'd dropped Rachel off. He hesitated, his instincts screaming for him to leave, but his concern for Rachel overpowered his fear. The basement stairs creaked loudly under his weight as he descended into the darkness. The air grew colder, damp and suffocating, as if the basement itself didn't want him there. At the bottom of the stairs, he found a single, muddy footprint leading toward the far wall. But there was nothing else, no signs of a struggle, no indication of where anyone might have gone. As Adam turned to leave, the basement door above him slammed shut. The sound echoed like a gunshot, and he sprinted up the stairs, yanking on the handle until it gave way. He stumbled back into the kitchen, his chest heaving with panic. That was when he noticed it, a faint, wet handprint on the inside of the door, too large to belong to Rachel, Susan, or Emily. By the time the police arrived, word of the disappearance had already spread. Neighbors shared strange stories that only deepened the mystery. Mrs. Coleman, an elderly woman across the street, claimed she saw three shadows moving past the window around 3 a.m, but the figures weren't walking, they floated, she whispered to the officer taking her statement. Another neighbor, Mr. Grayson, reported hearing a woman's voice calling for help in the early hours. It sounded like Susan, he said, but when I went outside, the street was empty. The strangest account came from a delivery driver who'd passed the house around dawn. He swore he saw the front door slowly open on its own as he drove by, revealing a shadowy figure standing in the entryway. It wasn't human, he insisted. Days turned into weeks, and the police were no closer to solving the case. Then the cleaning crew hired to tidy up the house made a disturbing discovery. Beneath the carpet in Rachel's bedroom, they found a series of strange symbols etched into the wooden floor. They looked ancient, almost ritualistic, and were smeared with what appeared to be dried blood. The symbols seemed to form a pattern, leading to a small crawl space beneath the house. Investigators unearthed a dusty, leather-bound book filled with incomprehensible text and illustrations of shadowy figures. At the back of the book was a single phrase scrawled in red ink. They were chosen. No one knows what happened to the Springfield Three. The house has been vacant ever since, but neighbors say they still hear faint whispers coming from inside late at night. Some claim to see shadowy figures in the windows. The Springfield Three disappeared without a trace. leaving behind more questions than answers. Was it a break-in, a ritual gone wrong, or something far more sinister? What do you think happened that night? Share your theories in the comments below, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and join us next week for another chilling story on Elevate Your Life. Until then, remember, some mysteries are better left unsolved.